Welcome to the end of day review for Monday, the 29th of January 2024. As usual, we'll start off with the economic calendar, and as you can see, there's no red folder news events for GBPUSD. That means there's no news events for the British pound or the US dollar. Then moving on to the daily or 4 hour charts, perhaps just touching on the daily. What we're going to see on the daily is that there's no consecutive candles to draw our daily bias, and from a market structure we remain in the scenario we've been in for the past week or so, where we've body broken this for its confirmed bullish this confirmed bullish market trend. As you can see, the market trend was confirmed bullish for some time, and then on the 17th of January we body broke it, essentially leading us to an uncertain scenario where we either going to confirm that the market structure will confirm bearish, or alternatively this is just a liquidity grab to continue to the upside. At the moment, based on for our order flow, what we can see is that this primary pro trend previously confirmed leg was developed, and that's simply because there's a change of character OB that was invalidated here, and then since then we've essentially built that front leg. In terms of where we are right now, what we can see is that we've recently interacted with this pro trend unconfirmed 4H OB right here. We reacted to it there, and then we've reacted to this primary pro trend previously confirmed OP, from which we're still reacting from, but neither of which are following through necessarily. So we've got to read into the intricate detail on the 15 and 5 minute. So perhaps just to caveat this as we go into the 15 and 5 minute, again, there's reasons to trade both directions, but it's about making sense of the legs that are present on the 5 and 15 minute. Remember, we're trading in uncertain scenarios, and given that we are trading in an uncertain scenario, we require 3 elements to be present in order to take any trade. One being there must be a 4H OB backing the idea to long or short, in which case there's reasons for both. The other being that there is a substructure validated target. In this case, there is both present, and then the last point being that there is available IRL towards the intended target. As you can see, to the upside there's a lot on the 4 hour, however towards the downside there isn't much in that regard, and we need to pay a bit more attention to it. So then moving on to the 15 minutes, starting with the Frankfurt session, essentially what we can see is on Friday we reacted to this 4H OB supporting longs that reached the 4H OB at the top. However, there's a couple of things to consider here. So the 4H OB at the top has been interacted with previously, resulting in the creation of this primary leg right here. Given that it is a primary leg and this 4H OB hasn't achieved its objective of taking out this substructure target, this primary leg OB creates primary OBs all the way down, as you can see here, which explains what we're reacting to. However, we also have to consider the fact that once we interact with this 4H OB supporting longs, it poses a significant barrier for price reversal, and thus in order to trade against this 4H OB we need IRL to develop, then interaction with a primary leg associated with this 4H leg or 15 minute leg as a result of the interaction to the supply 4H OB, at which point we have IRL and a new secondary leg to ultimately target this low. So applying that same logic to what had happened on Monday. So on Monday, like I said, we're still in this primary leg, and this primary leg on the 15 minute creates this primary leg 15 minute POI that's unmitigated. As a result of that, we developed the secondary leg. Remember, from the demand 4H OB, this is considered a primary OB, whereas this 4H OB is considered a pro trend unconfirmed OB. The primary OB will reactions to it will lead to the creation of a secondary OB. However, reactions to the pro trend OB will result in a primary leg being created. So perhaps I can just highlight this out, and this is our primary leg, and this is an M15 unmitigated primary OB. So given that we're reacting to this M15 primary OB, that creates a secondary OB. So perhaps just to go over the sequence of events, on Friday we interacted with a fresh unmitigated portion of this voyage OB, which of this voyage primary OB, which created the secondary OB. After that, towards the end of Friday, we interacted with this 15-minute unmitigated primary OB, which resulted in the creation of the secondary um, the secondary leg associated with the proton unconfirmed primary OB. That, given that we've created the secondary leg invalidates this initial secondary leg to the upside, and thus there's only reasons to trade to the downside as we come into the Frankfurt session. However, we run into a bit of an issue because at this stage we require IRL in order to be able to target this level right here, and as you can see there is no IRL in the leg. Everything has been used up prior to the session open. As a result of that, our only options was to wait for the POI to actually reach somewhat of the extreme and then validate on the 5-minute that IRL does exist. After we validate the IRL, we could take an entry covering a stop above the previous high of the day, because that's where our fib is anchored to. However, that didn't materialize and we came down, actually coming below the target point and then resetting our secondary leg associated with the void primary demand OB. And at this point, given that we're reacting to an unmitigated area of this void OB, we're back in this barrier area in which we cannot short, we can only long from this point onwards until we build more IRL and of course react to a new 15-minute unmitigated OB. But I'll go through that in my London outlook for Tuesday. Essentially, to conclude this end of day review, in the London session we didn't get in the London session our primary bias was to short. However, in order to short, like I said, we needed to come into this extreme POIs and then get 5-minute IRL validation to then enter and target this. However, that didn't materialize, and in the New York session we saw that we actually interacted with a fresh unmitigated portion of this voyage OB, invalidating any shorts and only validating longs. However, we couldn't validate this New York low of the day will hold because there's no red folder news events, and as a result of that, there wasn't any further trading to be done for the day. That's pretty much the end of day review for Monday the 29th, and I'll chat to you again for the London outlook.